Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, first of all, sorry, joining you a bit late. I was at the opening of the UNESCO Week of Sound, la semaine du son de l'UNESCO, qui vient de s'ouvrir il y a maintenant 1 heure.
I was at the opening of la semaine du son of UNESCO.
This morning to the UNESCO headquarters in Paris, and on behalf of UNESCO, I would like to mention our strong commitment and engagement in the project Software Heritage, which is for us a major archive to enable our digital future. As you know, the UNESCO work covers many forms of heritage. It goes from documentary heritage, the memory of the world program, but also software heritage. So you see, it's far-reaching, covering natural, cultural, tangible, intangible, movable, but also not only physical, but in digital form. Digital heritage is today widely recognized as a unique repository of human knowledge and expression. It's a broad concept, covers the cultural, educational, scientific, and administrative spheres. It's a broad concept also encompasses other kinds of information that has been created digitally or that has been converted into digital form from initially analog resources. A resource that is born digital means that it has no other form but its initial digital form. Digital objects or materials include text, databases, still and moving images, audio, graphics, software, web pages, and this is among a wide and still growing range of formats. Many of these formats are stored on digital platforms. They are ephemeral, as their retention is often based on the availability or continuity of a given service. Software, however, is a unique type of digital object. It is all around and increasingly constitutes the foundation of our digital society. It powers our industry, it fuels innovation, it facilitates public services, supports scientific research, and enable our creative industries to develop and thrive. Without software, there would be no digital resources, no digital services, and no digital heritage. With this in mind, it's important to remember that what is at the heart of software, namely the source code. The source code, as we know, is the human-made and the humanly readable set of instructions that enables the digital computations necessary for the software to fulfill its functions and build our digital societies. In my first meeting with Mr. Di Cosmo, we talked about coding and source code. And I shared with you my initial programming and coding in the binary language, in zeros and ones, writing thousands of lines of code. And when the program says error fails correct, good luck to find where the error is in thousands of zeros and ones. Assembly languages are English-like easy to code in. This is why it's essential today to ensure that the knowledge embedded in software source code does not get lost. It is in this context that INRIA launched the Software Heritage Project back in 2016. This project is an initiative that aims to collect, preserve, and make readily available the source code of all software that was ever written worldwide. Thereby, the project contributes to building an essential infrastructure at the service of cultural heritage, digital development, science, industry, and society as a whole. UNESCO joined INRIA just 1 year later, in 2017, to support and encourage this international effort, which aims to preserve this very specific knowledge and make it widely available, widely accessible, in part through the UNESCO Memory of the World Program, which my sector at UNESCO is in charge of. Mesdames et messieurs, aujourd'hui,
ladies and gentlemen, today is the 5th anniversary of this project, And it is a perfect opportunity for us to take stock of where we stand and to look at how relevant it is today in the dynamic landscape of digital innovation. The Paris call on open codes on open science and source codes was an important project as well. And it was also the Paris call that said that all citizens, young and old, should be equipped with sufficient digital know-how and information to be able to face the future. And this is why, as you all know, probably we have just concluded the 41st session of the General Conference of UNESCO. And during the General Conference, we once again reiterated our commitment to cultural documentary heritage, but also approved open science recommendation. And in this recommendation, there are values and shared principles concerning open science, but also concrete proposals so that ordinary citizens can get closer to science and make sure that there are real recommendations. The idea is to produce scientific data worldwide and also to preserve source codes. This is why we will talk about this later, but you will see the ways in which source codes have been preserved. We will also talk about the challenges of preserving software, the importance of legacy software, and also making it accessible to all genders, to women, to the handicapped, and to different minorities. We will also look at how archives can also be used. Industry and also basic services, including public services, hugely need all forms of digital knowledge. It has a direct impact on our society, on our citizens. And with that in mind, making it available, that is making the source code and making all these tools available, becomes a very vital issue because it is a question of transparency, and it increases the way in which people can be more included in the digital revolution. This is why it is important for us to make possible all access to these source codes so that it would be possible for a better understanding of the software which is running industry and all the other things. I'd like to thank INRIA and all our other partners. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all those who are already with us and encourage new people to join us. Obviously, software source code reflects our recent past and also reflects our future. My last word is actually to give you some extraordinary news. We have just signed yesterday with INRIA an agreement which is for another 4 years on software preservation.